Okay. All right, everyone. Okay, everyone can hear me on the LinkedIn and YouTube side. Welcome, everyone, once again to the August 14th Systems Lab Live edition. This is the Wildcard series, Running Efficient Meetings with Coda. Running Efficient Meetings with Coda. We, as of last week, we finished our 100 Black tech startups from the Black Tech Effect report by The Plug with Sherelle Dorsey. We took an opportunity every week since the end of February to highlight 5 Black tech entrepreneurs that are in product. They are, developing services, platforms, apps, all these different things. And so, being that I was curious about the world of product and development and what was out there, I thought this was a super important report that really just needed to be highlighted. So I hope that you all would go back to some of the live streams. My plan is to find an editor, knock, 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 if you're out there listening, that can go through and just take sections of my live streams, and then we can put it all in one playlist, So that is a goal of mine, is to have that particular project maybe started by the end of the year, maybe early 2024. We'll see how it goes, but that is one of my goals, is to have that so it's in a nice playlist, and then you all can go and see the review. I just went through each of their websites, and we just sort of explored together. So as you all are settling into this live stream, I want you all to put inside the chat, tell me a couple things. Now, what are you working on this week? What have you been working on for the past couple of weeks? Where are you stuck? Where are you logging in from? All the things in between. We definitely want to hear from you tonight. So, because this is the wild card series, I definitely wanted to read for tonight's presentation, and it's really a kind of a show and tell. We're focusing on meeting management with Coda. Now, last August, I had 2 particular live streams on, I believe, note taking and meeting management. They're in the series. I forgot what the name of that series is, but if you go all the way back, it is a series called, well, let me just go ahead and look it up, because I can't even think of what it was called. It was let's see, I'm gonna go with playlists and daily. Was it not? Oh, yes, it was the Everyday Work series. Yes, Everyday Work series. Oh, excuse me, Everyday Work series, and it had there's 10 videos in this series, and if you go to how to get stuff done, help my notes are a mess, and that's part 1, part 2. And then I hate meetings, part 1 and part 2. So this is like the last 4 videos of this series. And then you can go and view those accordingly. Now let me go in. I'll go ahead and share my screen so you guys can kind of see it here. But this is where, if you go right to its right part, right here we go. Go to the right, you'll see 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that's it right there on the side. All right, cool. So we will revisit that at a different time as well. But what's cool about Coda is it's an all-in-one doc. But before we get into that, let's get into a couple of announcements that I want to make. There is a brand new audio series all on Project Foundations. It's really great, even if you are seasoned or if you are newer to PM. It's a good refresher. And so it's a 3-part course. Go ahead and text PM Huddle to 626 let's see, there we go, 626-722-5444. You can see it scrolling on the screen right now. This is where you can get the audio series, and then you'll also get a link to register for the PM monthly exchange. And so this is a great opportunity. We're gathering together other project leaders, and we are month by month, we're tackling a topic. And so this month, what we're doing is we are tackling conflict and communication. So conflict resolution and communication. What's happening, Ashley? Great to see you on this wonderful day. And so before we begin, want to make sure that you guys tap into that. Text PM Huddle to 626-722-5444. And you will get the audio course free. And then also a link to sign up for the monthly PM series as well. So yeah, that's it. And then there's also, you get into my ecosystem and you'll be the first to know about services and things like that. And so there's been some questions. I've gotten some DMs, what do you offer, those types of things. And so you can absolutely go to the link that's in the bio and also in the show notes, where you can go and either sign up to have a free discovery call, talk about some of the async coaching or live coaching options that are available, and things like that. So awesome. It's good to see Autumn. It's good to see Culture Coaching in the building as well. Coming back from an exciting few days where I was up in Darien, Connecticut for Think Pink Conference 2023. It's Harvest Time, hosted by CEO and founder, Prophetess Leslie Osei. And it was just a fantastic time. I just shouted out another Ashley, who I met at the conference, and it was a fantastic time of kingdom women and believers really just coming and gathering together to learn more and go deeper into Christ, into faith. So it was business, it was networking, it was lots of prayers, and really just, it was a refreshing time. And a plus, then I got to go with my mother, which was exciting. All right. Who wants to put in the comments, moms are the best? No, I'm just kidding. And so we had a good time. We had a great time. So let's see. Let's get into the mix. Tell me what's going on. The contracts with Casey just joined. She's having a fantastic webinar later this month, really focusing in on the legal aspects of protecting your brand as you are a Black content creator out there. This is a season. This is a time where, as you are a creator, there are certain things as you're building out your ecosystem, your company, your job, your business, your media company, whatever you want to call it. Even if you're a speaker, I mean, you are a content creator, you got to tap in with contracts by Casey. And so she'll she has great content for you guys to tap into. So we talked about the PM huddle. We talked about getting to the audio course. We talked about the monthly exchange later on this month. We'll have some content this week about conflict and conflict resolution and communication and what to expect for that. So get ready. It's going to be a really, really good webinar that we'll have later on this month. And so with that said, my particular question of the hour that we are asking, for those of you that have tapped into the Systems Lab Live, we've always had like a series of different segments and things. And so starting in July, we sort of peeled all of that back, and we're asking this question of the hour, question of the time, really. Marquise, what's going on, Marquis? Good to see you. Great Asana-thon that you had. I was able to tap in a little bit on Wednesday. Question of the hour: what does it take to be a next gen digital PM? Why are we phrasing this question? For a few reasons. Number one, I run into various different situations where, whether it's career, business, being inside your community, whatnot, different places and spaces where the work is not necessarily as straightforward. It's not 1 to 2 and 3 to 4, and it's not always linear. When we talk about the aspect of the digital world and project management and technology and the advancements, the work that we're doing is complicated at best. It's adventurous. It is sometimes frustrating. It is exciting. It is high stakes. It's all the things in between. And so a lot of the questions and the conversations are around a few things. This aspect of leadership. How are we leading inside of these projects and programs and initiatives that we are helping to launch, whether you're inside a corporate or you are a part of a team? Strategy, developing really keen strategy for executing. And then lastly, it is execution, which is the work itself, but it's also how you do the work. So it's not just a task-based go and do the task. It is, what is layered within the task and the execution process. So those are the three things: leadership, strategy, and execution. And so within that, there is so much to uncover. So much to uncover about what it takes to be a next gen digital PM. And so we'll be talking about these three themes. Maybe it's, we're talking about one of the themes one week. Maybe we're talking about two. Maybe we're talking about all three. But today we're going to be talking about leadership, but we're talking about integrity and honesty. I think it's really important that we talk about leadership and from the perspective of honesty and integrity, because many people would say, okay, duh, I need to be honest. But I want to really drill down a few things when we're really talking about this honesty and integrity piece. Okay. So what that really means is, and we'll just break down these definitions because why not? And I'm going to break down this definition. Let me pull up my notes. In the meantime, in between time, talk to me about some leadership principles that you really abide by on a day-to-day basis. I think all of us should have leadership principles. Okay. I think everyone should have leadership principles. Let me pull up this particular note. Let me see if it's right here. Oop. Okay. We're going to get to my favorite, integrity. So the definition of integrity: the quality of being honest, having strong moral principles, and uprightness. It also says the state of being whole and undivided. What does it mean to be a person of integrity? A person with integrity behaves ethically and does the right thing, even behind closed doors. Even behind closed doors. This is so good because I think, and we're just gonna let's just draw this out visually, right? Leadership, integrity, and honesty. Talk to me about what your thoughts are on leading with integrity. What does that exactly mean to you? Integrity, I'm going to go with some synonyms. I almost said synonyms, like synonym for cinnamon. Yeah, like the actual sprinkle like a cinnamon. Integrity is honesty, purity, candor, honestness, straightforwardness, incorruptibility, sincerity, virtue. Antonyms for integrity: deceit, dishonesty, corruption, incompleteness. Okay. Choose the synonym for honor. I'm going to say integrity. Boom. Oh, I love it. So let's walk this back a bit and talk about our day-to-day project work. So, integrity, do we carry integrity when we see that a project is running late and our CEO, our team lead, whoever that we are working with, a stakeholder says, "Hey, how are we doing on this project?" How many of us have made a narrative that bent in our favor? How many of us have straight up lied and said, "It's going well, it's going great"? How many of us? How many of us have done that? How many of us have covered it up? Yeah. Fudged a little bit, maybe some numbers, maybe covered up some things. This is so important that we are unpacking this because, one of the things I said about the work is that many people are creating, building, and all of that, and they're looking for people of honesty, and integrity, because they are creating something that is going to affect another person, another nation. Maybe it'll be history making, who knows? And so if you are someone that struggles with integrity, with honesty, I ask you to take a step back and let's talk about the cost. Let's talk about the cost of being dishonest, because it's already too late by the time you get caught doing something or saying something, or your words backfiring because you have decided to bend some words and some rules a little bit. So I say all this to say is that I remember a good old time when, I would, early in my career, where maybe someone would be asking about a status of something, and you know, I would get really nervous, and maybe something had slipped through the cracks, right? And I would say either I would try to massage it, or I would just wouldn't fully own up to what was happening. I wasn't fully accountable. And I think that just hurts you in the long run. It hurt me in the long run, because really, even if you do end up maybe something that doesn't go right or hasn't gone right, it's fixable. I remember a good friend of mine from college. Shout out to Jennifer Braswell. I remember I was talking with her. I was on the phone one time. I was very upset. And we were talking about a situation, and it was at work. And you know what she said to me? She works in HR. She said, "Ashley, pretty much 95, 99% of everything at work can be fixed." She goes, "It's that 1% that you can't walk back from." But she says, "Everything, Ashley, everything is fixable at work. Like, there's nothing where you can't figure out how to make something better, or, even if you did make a mistake, you can recover from it." And so that puts so many things into perspective for me. So many things to put me in perspective. And I thought that was profound that she said that, because oftentimes we do think, wow, I failed somebody, so then therefore let me cover something up. So when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to the numbers, overspending, maybe you made the wrong call or something like that. It didn't turn out right. You're being held accountable for what's being produced and how it's being produced. So therefore you do have to answer the question, own up to it. If something didn't go the way that you planned, it's being honest about it. And so I think as leaders, we need to be able to make sure that we create a culture with our team members where people are allowed to be honest. They're allowed to, stumble just a little bit, not too much, but that there's never going to be this sort of, oh gosh, like they have to feel like they're backed into a corner, that they have to be deceitful, dishonest, and hide things. I think it's important. So I think lying and fudging of the numbers and even covering for other people, I think that's risky. Covering for someone who's not pulling their weight. You got to think about that. You got to think about it. You have to think about how to work with that person to either get them to level up or somehow, some way have people come together to come through a conversation that allows that individual to be honest about where they're at. Some people might call that meddling. Some people might call that, oh, that's not even your lane, girl. That can't even be your lane. Well, it may not be. But I think that I would rather, I believe, a situation where you could help somebody to confront a situation than covering for somebody that may not be pulling their weight. I want to look at honesty. Hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Honesty is confidence, fairness, faithfulness, frankness, honor, morality, incorruptibility, openness. Okay. So I think, again, being very clear on what are your values? What are your morals? Many business leaders, many influencers, and things of that nature are coming through and putting out, this is what I stand for. I'm not saying that you have to do and be the same, but I think it would behoove you to sit down and say, what is it that I value? I know I've had some reflective moments, and I said, you know what? I value honesty. I value integrity. I value innovation, creativity. Those are the things that I value. Those are the things that I value. I value my faith, and that honesty, integrity piece has to be built in there. Because for me personally, I'm following the good book. That is what I would be, that I am called to do. That I'm called to do. Honesty, integrity at all times, in every situation. If you find yourself making a mistake in the process of it, hold up your hands, take a deep breath, and just know it's fixable. Just know that it is fixable. Very good. I'm glad we had this chat. I want to start bringing more of these types of stories and lessons and things, some just discussion, right? And just to know that this honesty, integrity piece follows you everywhere. Because you could be the bomb in your field. Hello, you know how to manage projects and programs. But I bet you if somebody found out, or, you started lying, it's just not going to end up well, especially when you're looking to grow, you're looking to elevate. Maybe you want to run your own business one day. Maybe you want to go for that promotion. It's that honesty and integrity piece. They will take the person who may not be just as sharp as you are yet. One more junior, but is going to dig in deep. Is going to dig in deep. Okay? Good. I love to hear it and see it. So we want to do, y'all. Y'all want to boogie a little bit and I want to get into some meeting management, some really good stuff with meeting management. I want to read a couple statistics. Okay. Let's talk about it. An estimated 37 billion is lost per year due to unproductive meetings. Organizations spend roughly 50% of their time on meetings, with surveys showing that 71% of those meetings are considered unproductive. The average time spent per week is 33 hours, with 30% of workers reporting that they spend over 5 hours per week in meetings. General statistics on meetings. 24 billion hours are wasted each year as a result of unproductive meetings. The average corporate employee spends 4 hours preparing and attending meetings per week, which is very true. Let's see. 65% of employees agree that meetings prevent them from completing their work. So I think the question of this moment in time, and please be sure to drop questions in the chat because I'd love to answer them. Questions you have about honesty, integrity, all of these good things. And the question really that's on my mind as I started to gain an understanding of meetings being wasteful, so to speak. How do we make meetings more effective is really the question. And so I think this aspect of meetings, async communication, how many do we need, daily stand-ups, staff meetings, and things like that. I think really the main question is, what is the criteria for having a meeting? What is the criteria for having a meeting? I think that's the question that we need to start having, and then having like three to four bullet points on what's the criteria. And so I think the criteria should be set per team, per company, and maybe per project. But I believe that some of the things that we should consider is, what is the criteria for having a meeting? Exactly, Nathaniel, what is the criteria? So I think, if it has to do with a particular task, if it has to do with more of strategy, if a project is going by the wayside, bringing people together for that. I believe that most questions can be answered when you have a central communication tool or a project management tool. So you can have like a communication tool. We've talked about that a lot. Slack is, of course, my number one, my fave. You guys might be using Microsoft Teams. You might be using Jira for PM, ClickUp, Asana, all these other ones. But having one place and space where all project related information and status and everything will help you understand what the status is of said task or project. And these are for the people who are really running the projects, running the projects. And so start there. Start with what you can find. Typically, I would say that when you're starting off the week and you are setting aside time to know where you are with different parts of the project, a huge question that I always ask, like I would meet with clients and I would say, what's something that's a stumbling block? What's preventing you from moving from point A to point C? We have a milestone, for example. We have a milestone this week. Is there anything that's preventing us from meeting this milestone? You could talk about that within Slack. If you need to actually have a huddle, then you could call for a huddle. So every company and every circumstance is going to be a little different. And so I would encourage you to find out what are the common themes running within your teams when it comes to these meetings. What is it that people want to know? Why do they want to know it? Is this information centralized? Can you find it in meeting notes? Where are they located? Utilizing technology to really help you all leverage the conversations. So that PM tool, that Slack tool. And I would encourage you to use these types of tools because people can then go back and reference it, which is always really, really helpful. Now, that's another conversation. I just thought about something. Who should be the note taker? I think we just gonna, yeah. Well, no, we can address it, but we'll address it in a minute. Who should be the note taker? I think that's always a touchy subject because there are people who are like, I don't like taking notes. I believe everyone should be taking their own notes for their own action items, but there should be a designated person that will take notes for the betterment of the team. Not transcribe, but per topic, key points, and key action items. That's it. That's really it. So, as we shape this discussion right now, we're really focusing for the particular running the efficient meetings piece, deciding the criteria of a meeting. And that could be very much dependent on maybe it's a task, maybe it's a particular focus of the week, maybe there's an ongoing issue, maybe there needs to be decisions that need to be made. So you want to really look at those particular categories. Do they fit your current situation? If so, beautiful. And then you can decide from there who needs to be included in these meetings. Does everyone? I know for me, I have a tendency to be like, wide open spaces, where it's like everybody comes. And that's not always like the best. Key people. And then also deciding the allotment. How much time? How much time? I think that's really important. How much? How much time? Hmm? How much time? 30 minutes, 45, an hour, 15? Highly dependent on structure, context of the project, complexity. I would encourage that if people do need to meet and talk, because again, this isn't about going from all these meetings to now all of a sudden we're just going to meet twice a week and then everything else is going to be async. You got to think about your culture. You got to think about how people are already communicating. There may be a thing where you may want to have no meeting Friday, which forces people to focus in on what's important Monday through Thursday and go from there. You may want to encourage smaller huddles. Slack is great for that. Quick meetings where you can just have a touch point. Hey, I just wanted to go over these few things for this task. Let's go. So, speaking of centralized locations and spaces, one of the things I love is meeting management. Let us go to what I'm building inside of Coda. Alrighty. Welcome to Coda, the all-in-one doc that you can integrate so many things. You can integrate a lot of really cool things inside here, from Google Docs to Miro. This is a really phenomenal tool. It's really, to be honest, very, very, very similar to Notion. Very similar. Okay. So, what we're looking at here is Coda is built on like docs and really like building out an interactive way to do your work, if that makes sense. So this was a blank page. And like I said, so many similarities to Notion. It's not even funny. But this right here, you can put the time and agenda. Very much anything that you want to add, / command. Tables are really huge. And so this is the attendees table that I had. You can check the attendance. You can write action items on here. This could also be Canvas. And then I also can click these 3 dots, add a sub page. Hey, Mason, action item template. Name of action item. Key points. Put this right here. I think this is a good one. Questions to ask. Okay, so what's cool about this is that this is like if I go here and put column type, and I can go with, this is genius. What's happening? I can go and, but hold on. Action item template. And I can then put this right here. So then what happens is I open this up and it has, oh, okay. They have questions, notes. How do they do that? Oh, you know what it is? Usually when this happens, let me go back. I think I have to add somebody here, Ashley, and I think this is how it works. Yeah. When you add this here, you can add like the name of it, the key points, and the questions to ask. Oh, this is interesting. And you also have like the notes too. So what's interesting about Coda is that, again, these are all about like how you go about like building your docs. This is what this is about. It's very like similar to Notion. You go about building out the structure of a page. And so everything is very much like you can relate things to one another, things can update. Like I said, it's a pretty powerful tool. When you have, certain meetings, you can have the discussion topics, and then you can add agenda topics. If I add it, maybe it is presenter 1. No, you can have the meeting notes right here. This is really interesting right here, is I think what I'm going to do here, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to build a doc from scratch. All right, let's just build this from scratch once again. Meeting management. And yep. And one of the things too from Coda, you could do things like import different documents in here. You can like do, you can insert a page if you wanted to. Future list of discussion topics. Okay, very good. Very good, Mason. Okay, so you can have a rolling list of future discussion topics. Future looking list. And so you can add that, and This is the beauty of Coda. They have like hundreds upon hundreds because you can really, yeah, you can really do all these. You can have a voting thing too, which I think is really cool. Action items right here and right here. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to actually build this out by myself. And then you have these simple meeting notes. So all of this, to be honest, you can get this set up within 30 minutes. So these are the simple meeting notes, the action items, the agenda. So I think what I will have here is, okay, let me see if I can do this right. I'm gonna add a cover because I always usually like to do that. Meeting, pen and pencil. If I think about this correctly, I will want to, I'm gonna have an H2. Welcome to our team meeting notes guide or repository. Okay. And then what I'll have here is another table. It'll be start blank. It'll be future agenda topics. What I'll do is name this name of agenda topic. I'm actually going to have a date because I think if I think about this correctly, this is going to be like the date that you want this to be brought up. I'm thinking. Name of agenda. Then I would say, can I delete this and actually put maybe like agenda notes or something? Then I want it to maybe, if there's like a link. Like I said, Coda is cool because you can do some really fun stuff like if you want to integrate other things. So I'm just gonna have a regular link. Yeah, maybe like key resource. I'll do a key resource and it's a link. Like I said, this is interesting. I'm gonna put a little icon right here because why not? And then you could have instructions. So you do the slash command, you do a call out, and then you could say, please add agenda topics for future meetings below. And then I would say, oh yeah, I would actually have this little arrow right here. Okay. So you have the name, the date, maybe there's like a quick note. And then if you had this related to an OKR, like a SMART goal. Oh, that's actually a really good idea. Because you could, yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna add a page. OKR tracker. What's this? This is what I mean by choosing a. Yeah, this is what I mean by adding a template. So the goal. So what's going on, Cardell? Oh, can we undo this? Let me go back. Okay, so OKR, objective, basically what it is you want to do, and then what's the what's the key result, and then this is like the progress tracker. So this could be something like let's do one on improve customer retention. Let's do that. And then maybe let's do this. Let's see, exceeds CR score of 90%. Okay. Yeah. Increase revenue. Okay. We'll just have that here. And then maybe, oh, here we go. Maybe you're like right here. So if this is here, then what I can do is I can add an associated column. Ooh, is this it? Relational team goals. Am I going to do this right? Let's see if I can do this right. Hold on. Objectives. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I want. Objectives. That's exactly what I want. See, some of this stuff, when you just get inside of an app, once you start learning the culture of like the names and the conventions and the stylings. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Add column type. What did I say? Oh, boom. Okay, fill values, calculate values from other fill values. No, I don't think so. I think this is fine. Create the column, allow multiple selections, auto-based option settings. Yeah, this is like super fancy. I think this is fine. Enable two-way editing. I guess so. We'll do it. We'll do it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Objective. OKR. Okay, so then, yes, improve customer retention. So this is great. So why this is really cool is that you can I love it. That's funny. Um okay, this is really cool because when you are asking for like future meeting agenda topics, this helps to keep it focused on what does this meeting agenda have to do with improve customer retention. So it could be that you want to put something in here on upgrading app. And then this could be for the 22nd. And then you write in whatever it is you want to upgrading the app will help us with CR. You know, it's right there, open, boom. And then you could have like a little button. I usually, a little button's fine. Button, add a button on, is this it? Color, pink, large. Oh, future agenda topics. Lord, hold on. Future agenda topics. There we go. Ah, you see that? It just adds rows. It's my favorite. It's really, really good. Then if you want to delete, let me see. Okay. Oop. Okay. So that's how you do the future agenda topics. How do you want to then do the actual meeting itself? Let's see. I think there's a couple ways to do it. You could, I'm going to add a page. You could say weekly meetings. And this could be like weekly meetings. Okay. And how should one do this? There's definitely a way. Let's see. How do we want to do this? So now that we have something that's like the future of agenda topics, now I want to do something where this can be added, and we can do weekly meetings. So how should we do this? Yeah, I know how to do this. Do a table. Start blank. Weekly meeting syncs. Actually want to change this to date. Meeting date. I do want to. Can we do meeting topics? I'm sort of wondering, can you do a checklist for this? No? Oh, I don't think that's not how I wanted this to be. This is interesting. We'll just do text. That's what we'll do. And we'll do text. What we'll do is we'll do the meeting agenda items. And then we'll also do action items. Yeah, because you could do a relational database of action items. What I'd love to do is, It's all very interesting, eh? You do the notes for this, and then I'm gonna add a sub page, meeting notes, template. You do this, agenda item 1. Key points. I just want to copy and paste this. We want to canvas this up. I'm also wondering too, wonder if it's beneficial to set up the notes in here, because I'm thinking one thing that you could do is set up the notes, set up the full repository of just that you have. Here's a record of all the meetings, and then inside of that are the notes. I want to get Coda. I'm gonna try to get Coda inspired meetings. I want to see a couple of things. I'm gonna get a little inspo. Ooh, I love this. They have covered. Oh, this is good. Let's go back because we need a checklist. Which is a checkbox. What's going on? Congratulations on your new position. Covered. Okay. Covered. Okay. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. I remember. Okay, hold on. Did this get covered? Okay. Covered, the date. Okay, what else did they do here? Ooh, a lot of time. Let me see this. This is giving me some inspo because I think what I will do for this playbook I'm developing is add a meeting notes piece to it. Agenda, discussion topics, and then notes. Well, that is simple. And you have action items from the meetings themselves. Okay. I wonder, can you, and I don't know if you could add, I don't know if you could add a related thing of I don't know if you could value for new role, no option setting, filter, add related columns. Because could you, and then whatever else, I'm sort of wondering too, Do you have these future meeting topics? And feature release. I'm just curious. What does this do? Oh, yeah. Interesting. Interesting. I'm actually going to take this and put here bugs, fixes, app store. Lots to do here, folks. We could go on and on, right? And yeah, we could go on and on, folks, but let's do a wrap up. One of the cool things again about exploring new tools like Coda is that you can create things that are all in one, meaning you can do action items. You can make sure that you have a place and space that you're capturing, meeting future agenda topics and things. And so, man, thank you all for exploring running efficient meetings with Coda. I've learned a lot. I'll be building out some more, and then we'll be back and revisiting what I built. So I'm very excited about this. I hope you've learned something here today. Make sure you share this live with about 3 people. Make sure you text PM Huddle to 626-722-5444. And we'll see you next time. Bye.